still hanging the pictures in the hallway of my mind, searching for the pieces that I know I'll never find. The coffee's getting cold again on your side of the bed, and I'm still replaying every single word you never said. I told the walls we're okay, but the silence knows the truth. I'm just a ghost of a man, woman, still holding on to you. When we had it all, before the summer turned to gray, before you took the light and let the us just drift away. They say the time is a healer, that the bleeding's gonna stop, but I'm just standing at the edge, waiting for the drop. 'Cause I'm still living in a forever I still believe in. Even if you're gone and your heart has stopped its beating, for the girl, boy, I knew, for the life that we planned, I'm still reaching out for a ghost of a hand. You moved on to a world where I don't belong, but I'm still here singing our favorite song. Call me a fool, call it a season, but I'm still living, and forever I still believe in. I saw you at the station, you were looking through the glass, like I was just a stranger, watching all the seasons pass. You had that look of freedom, like you finally caught your breath, while I'm still suffocating in this slow and quiet death. I kept the ring in the drawer right beside to save the dates. I'm still praying for a miracle, still fighting with the fates. The world keeps on turning, people tell me I should too, but how do I start a morning that doesn't start with you? They say that meant to be doesn't mean it's gonna last, but I'm still building houses in the shadows of the past. 'Cause I'm still living in a forever I still believe in. Even if you're gone and your heart has stopped its beating, for the girl, boy, I knew, for the life that we planned, I'm still reaching out for a ghost of a hand. You moved on to a world where I don't belong, but I'm still here singing our favorite song. Call me a fool, call it a season, but I'm still living, and forever I still believe in. Is it a lie if I say I'm doing fine? Is it a sin to wanna freeze the hands of time? I'd rather stay broken and remember how it felt than to heal and forget the cards that we were dealt. I'm not letting go, I'm just learning how to hide the fact that I'm still waiting for you on the other side. I'm holding once again. You moved on to a world where I don't belong, but I'm still here singing our favorite song. Call me a fool, give me a reason to stop living in a forever I still believe in. A forever I still believe in. I'm still here. I'm still waiting. I still believe in us. I'm still staring at the doorway where you stood and took your breath before you said the sentence that felt a lot like death. The light was hitting different, a cold and clinical gray, as the we I'd built my life around just started to fray. I didn't cry right then, I think I forgot how to feel, like my heart was made of glass and the world was made of steel. I just watched your taillights vanish through the window in the hall, and for the first time in my life I felt absolutely small. They say that what doesn't kill you only makes you strong, but they don't mention the nights that are 1,000 years long. I'm not the person that you knew before the lock turned in the door. I'm someone I don't recognize standing on this floor, 'cause that was a goodbye that changed me, a shift in every bone, a foundation that was shattered, leaving me to build alone. I used to believe in the sun and the stars and the always of a kiss, but I never knew a see you later could end up sounding like this. It's a rewrite of my history, a fracture in my soul, a story with a missing piece that'll never be made whole. Yeah, you walked away so easy, but I'm still out at sea, grieving for the version of the girl, boy, I used to be. Yeah, I'm cautious with my laughter, and I'm careful with my trust, watching every golden promise slowly turn to bitter dust. I walk past the coffee shop where we had our first big fight, and I realize I'm a stranger to the person I was that night. I don't love the way I used to, with my heart out on my sleeve. I'm always looking for the exit, always waiting for the lead. You didn't just take your sweaters or the records from the shelf, you took the part of me that actually believed in myself. The calendar is moving, but my spirit's in a cast, trying to heal from a future that's now buried in the past. I'm not the person that you knew before the lock turned in the door. I'm someone trying to keep my head above the water in this town. I'm stronger now, I guess, but I'm colder than before. I don't leave the porch light on for anybody anymore. Yeah, that was a goodbye that changed me, a shift in every bone, a foundation that was shattered, leaving me to build alone. I used to believe in the sun and the stars and the always of a kiss, but I never knew a see you later could end up sounding like this. It's a rewrite of my history, a fracture in my soul, a story with a missing piece that'll never be made whole. Yeah, you walked away so easy, but I'm still out at sea, grieving for the version of the girl boy I used to be. I'm different now, the colors aren't as bright, I'm a little more afraid of the coming of the night. It was just a goodbye to you, but it was the end of me, the end of who I used to be. I'm still finding your hair on my favorite coat, and that half-finished letter I never quite wrote. The world keeps on spinning, the seasons all change, but my heart is a map that I can rearrange. I see you in shadows of people downtown, in the way that the autumn leaves drift to the ground. They say you are gone, that the fire went out. There's a flicker in here that they don't know about. I've scrubbed every surface and cleared every shelf. I've tried to reinvent a new version of self, but the ghost of your laughter still hangs in the air. I'm talking to someone who's no longer there, 'cause I'm carrying the weight of a love that still lives, the kind that takes everything, then somehow still gives. It's a pulse in the silence, a light in the dark, a flame that survived even after the spark. You're a memory in motion, a song on repeat, the bitter that's buried inside of the sweet. Yeah, the world says it's over, but my heart forgives. The ache of a love that still lives. I tried dating a stranger, I tried to be fine, but his hand in my hand didn't feel like it was mine. I'm looking for you in the back of a crowd, calling your name but not saying it loud. Is it a haunting, or is it a gift? To feel the tectonic plates under me shift every time that I hear a song that you like. It's a match to the fuse that I've already hiked. The calendar pages are yellow and thin, but I'm still living under your porcelain skin. I've locked all the windows and bolted the door, but you don't need a key to walk across the floor. 'Cause I'm carrying the weight of a love that still lives, the kind that takes everything, then somehow still gives. It's a pulse in the silence, a light in the dark, a flame that survived even after the spark. You're a memory in motion, a song on repeat, the bitter that's buried inside of the sweet. Yeah, the world says it's over, but my heart forgives. The ache of a love that still lives. Why won't it die? Why won't it just fade? Like the promises made in the heat of the shade. I've tried to bury it deep in the dirt, but the flowers that grow only taste like the hurt. It's breathing, it's beating, it's keeping me warm. It's the eye of the needle, the heart of the Yeah, I'm carrying the weight of a love that still lasts, the kind that takes everything, then somehow still gives. It's a pulse in the silence, a light in the dark, a flame that survived even after the spark. You're a memory in motion, a song on repeat, the bitter that's buried inside of the sweet. Yeah, the world says it's over, but my heart forgives. The ache of a love that still lives, still living. In the way I drink my coffee, in the way I watch the rain. It's a beautiful, terrible, permanent stain. Yeah, it lives, it still lives in me. The ice is finally breaking on the surface of the pond, but I'm still stuck in winter, in the days of being fond of the way the frostwood patterns on the window of your car. Back when home wasn't a concept, it was just wherever you are. Now the cherry blossoms budding, painting pink across the street. But the sidewalk feels like sinking sand beneath my heavy feet. I see the world is waking up, shaking off the gray, but I'm still folded in the sweater that you wore the day you went away. The birds are coming back to build their nest in every tree, but there's no room left in this house for any version of me. Oh, I'm buried in the garden of our love in spring, watching life return to every single living thing, except for us, except for the promise that we made. When the April rain was falling and we weren't afraid, now the petals are like teardrops falling on the green, the cruelest color of a life that might have been. Everything is blooming, but I'm still withering, holding on to the ghost of our love in spring. You used to say the daffodils were brave for pushing through. I guess I thought that kind of strength belonged to me and you. But you wilted when the wind got cold, you bowed beneath the rain, and left me here to cultivate this harvest of my pain. I'm planting rows of memories I know will never grow, while you're out in the sunshine with someone I don't know. Is the air a little sweeter now you found a different air? Do you see my face in every flower blooming over there? The sun is staying longer, trying hard to clear the dark, but it only highlights every empty bench in every park. Oh, I'm buried in the garden of our love in spring, watching life return to every single living thing, except for us, except for the promise that we made. When the April rain was falling and we weren't afraid, now the petals are like teardrops falling on the green, the coolest color of a life that might have been. Everything is blooming, but I'm still withering, holding on to the ghost of our love in spring. May will come with colors that I used to want to see, but now they're just reminders of the you that's not with me. They say that spring's for starting over, for a brand new lease on life, but I'm just pruning dead wood with a dull and rusted knife. I don't want the renewal, I don't want the morning light, I just want the frozen stillness of a February night. Of our love in spring, while I'm waiting for the telephone to never ever ring. The world is turning vibrant, it's a beautiful display of everything love in spring, our love in spring. It was supposed to grow, it was supposed to stay, but the roots were shallow, and you just blew away.
Birds chirping softly in the distance, and silence.
The suitcase by the doorway hasn't moved in 3 whole days. We're navigating rooms through a thick and heavy haze. I'm washing dishes that we'll never use as us again, counting down the minutes like a prisoner in a pen. We tried the long walks, we tried the therapy, but we couldn't fix the you, and we couldn't save the me. It's not for lack of trying, and it's not for lack of tears. It's just the slow erosion of 1,000 quiet years. We kept steering for the lighthouse, but the oil ran out at sea. Now the waves are just reclaiming what was meant to be. And it breaks my heart to say it, but I've finally seen the truth. We've been burning up the remnants of our fast and fading youth. We ran until the road ran out, we fought until the void, and we finally reached the end that we couldn't avoid. There's no villain in this story, there's no one left to blame, just 2 flickering candles that can't sustain the flame. It was written in the static, it was built into the joy. This was always the end that we couldn't avoid. I remember how we started like a house on fire and gold. We thought we were the story that would never grow too old, but the foundation was shifting while we painted all the walls, and we ignored the echoes ringing through the empty halls. Now your eyes are looking past me at the life you wanna lead, and I'm a chapter in a book that you no longer need to read. We're just 2 parallel lines that finally had to bend, only to find out they were breaking at the end. We kept holding on so tight that we forgot how to breathe. Now the only thing that's left for us is knowing when to leave. And it breaks my heart to say it, but I've finally seen the truth. We've been burning up the remnants of our fast and fading youth. We ran until the road ran out, we fought until the void, and we finally reached the end that we couldn't avoid. There's no villain in this mercy, it's a murder, it's a long-awaited sign that I can't be yours, and you can't be mine. Into the end that we couldn't avoid. There's no anger in the goodbye, just a weary kind of grace. As I watch the love go quiet on your tired, beautiful face. It was woven in the fabric, it was built into the joy. This was always the end that we couldn't avoid. The end we couldn't avoid. Close the door, turn the key, set yourself free. It's over now. The dial tone is ringing like a siren in my ear. I'm listening to the messages I've saved for over a year. I remember the static in the way your voice went small, the way the air got heavy in that wood-paneled hall. You said you were tired, that the us had run its course, and I felt my heart shatter with a quiet, hollow force. I was looking at the kettle as it started up to steam, while you were busy waking up from our favorite dream. I should have said I love you, I should have begged you to stay, but I just watched the minutes simply tick-tock away. Now I'm haunted by the echoes and the ghost of the phone, replaying every syllable while I sit here alone. It was just an ordinary Tuesday, a mid-afternoon smoke. I didn't know it was the last time we spoke. No farewell forever, no, I'll see you in my dreams. Just the sound of a life tearing out at the seams. God, I give up my future just to get back that note. The mundane, simple tragedy of the last time we spoke. You asked about the weather and if I fed the cat. We spent 5 whole minutes just on small talk and chat. Looking back, I can hear it, the distance in your breath, the sound of a promise facing a slow and quiet death. If I'd known the silence was waiting just around the bend. I wouldn't have let that 3-minute conversation end. I'd have held the line open until the batteries died. I'd have poured out every secret I was keeping inside. But I just said I'll call you, and you said yeah, okay. And neither of us knew that tomorrow was drifting away. Now I'm haunted by the echoes and the ghost of the phone, replaying every syllable while I sit here alone. It was just an ordinary Tuesday, a mid-afternoon smoke. I didn't know it was the last time we spoke. No farewell forever, no I'll see you in my dreams. Just the sound of life tearing out at the seams. God, I'd give up my future just to get back that note. The mundane, simple tragedy of the last time we spoke. Was your hand shaking when you held the receiver? Were you already gone, you beautiful deceiver? I'm analyzing every in every eye you said, trying to find the moment when the living became dead. I hate that our ending was so quiet and so brief, a 3-minute prologue to a lifetime of grief. Of the phone in a house that's grown cold, in a skin I don't own. It was just an ordinary Tuesday, a mid-afternoon smoke. I never would have hung up if I knew the last time we spoke. No cinematic ending, no, I'll always be yours. Just the click of the of doors. I'm still holding the handset, I'm still hoping for hope, but I'm just a ghost of the last time we spoke. The last time we spoke, you said take care of yourself, and I said I will. I'm still taking care, but you're still gone. The last time. Still staring at the blueprints we drew on the napkins of the house on the hill with the wraparound porch. I'm still holding the match, but I forgot what happened to the fire that we swore would be our eternal torch. You said we'd see Paris when the kids were all grown, and I never have to face a December alone. But the ink is still wet on the life we designed, while I'm trapped in a house you left far behind. The ticket's a book for a train that won't run. I'm a shadow that's chasing a long-hidden sun. We sold out today for a someday dream, and now I'm just drowning in the middle of the stream. Oh, it's the ghost of a life that we never got to live. Yeah, I love yous and I still have left over to give. It's a debt with no lender, a song with no choir, a frozen over heart that was once full of fire. We were gambling on years we were never guaranteed. But forgetting the seed. And it kills me to know what will never become in the silence, where the promise of future grew numb. The empty frame where our wedding would be, in the hall of a home that will never hold me. You're out in the world making memories with him, while the light in our later is growing so dim. I keep checking the mail for a letter from us, but the mailbox is empty and covered in rust. How do I move when the map that I hold is a story of silver that never turned gold? I'm living in then while you're living in now. I'm still trying to keep every broken down vow. The calendar's marking the plans that I made as I watch all the colors of our future fade. Oh, it's the ghost of a life that we never got to live. The I love yous that I still have left over to give. It's a debt with no lender, a song with no choir, a frozen over heart that was once full of fire. We were gambling on years we were never guaranteed. Planting a harvest, but forgetting the seed. And it kills me to know what will never become in the silence, where the promise of future grew numb. Wait for me, you said, the best is yet to come. So I stayed in the winter while you started to run. I built a cathedral out of not quite yet. Now I'm paying a price for a dream I regret. The future was a lie that we told to stay warm. Now I'm standing alone in the heart of the storm. Yeah, it's the ghost of a life that we never got to live. the promise of future grew known. The promise of future. It's just a suitcase that's never been packed, a glass that was empty before it was cracked. I'm letting it go now. The someday, the soon. Just me and the ghost of the promise of future. Looking at the blueprint of the house we never built, feeling the weight of the almost and the sudden surge of guilt. We had the map spread out across the dusty kitchen floor, mapping out a life that isn't living anymore. You said we'd grow old in a town by the sea, and I'd keep you safe and you'd keep me free. We spoke with such a certainty, like stars fixed in the sky, before the gravity took hold and the wells started running dry. It wasn't a lie we were telling back then, we just didn't know how the story would end. That was the promise we made with every breath in our lungs, the forever that tasted so sweet on our tongues. We weren't just talking, we weren't just playing a part. We were writing the truth on the walls of our hearts. But the world too heavy and the light got too thin, and we lost the battle we were certain we'd win. I'm still holding the pieces of the time that we spent on a dream and a promise we meant. I found the old calendar where you circled the date of the day we were supposed to finally settle the fate. Now that square is just empty, just a ghost on the wall, a reminder of how far we were destined to fall. We didn't mean to be hollow, we didn't mean to be cold, we just couldn't handle the heat of the fire we hold. I hate that intentions don't pay for the rent on the space in my soul where our happiness went. We weren't being reckless, we weren't being blind, we just left the best parts of our spirit behind. 'Cause that was the promise we made with every breath in our lungs, the forever that tasted so sweet on our tongues. We weren't just talking, we weren't just playing a part, we were writing the truth on the walls of our hearts. But the world got too heavy and the light got too thin, we lost the battle we were certain we'd win. I'm still holding the pieces of the time that we spent on a dream and a promise we meant. As Is it a tragedy if the heart was sincere? Is it a failure if the ending is clear? I'd rather have promised you everything under the sun than to have been someone who never promised anyone. Even though we're broken and we're walking alone, that vow was the truest thing I've ever known. Just playing a part. We were bleeding the truth from the depths of our hearts. But the seasons, they changed and the iron it bent, and we lost the future where our forever went. I'm still proud of the message that we tried to have sent back when it was a promise we meant. The promise we meant. We really did mean it. We really did try. It's okay to let go, but it's hard to say why. We meant it. I meant it. I'm reaching for the gear shift in the center of the car, and I realize just how terrifyingly close you really are. Your silhouette is painted on the window by the moon, but I know that we'll be pulling in the driveway way too soon. We're sharing the same oxygen, we're inches from a touch, but the distance in this leather seat is proving way too much. The radio is humming just to fill the empty air, while I'm drowning in the things we're both pretending aren't there. I could stretch out my pinky and graze your sleeve, but I'm scared if I move, you'll find a reason to leave. The dashboard light is glowing a cold electric blue, highlighting the canyon between me and you. Is 1,000 miles wide, a hollowed out valley where our secrets go to hide. It's the graveyard of I love yous and the ghost of every plan. It's the heaviest weight that a broken heart can stand. We used to be a bridge, now we're just two different lands, divided by the space between our hands. You're looking out the window like there's something left to see. Anything at all to keep from looking back at me. I remember when your fingers used to lace inside of mine, like a puzzle made of skin and bone, a vintage sort of design. Now I'm white-knuckling the steering wheel just to stay on track, afraid if I let go there'll be no way of coming back. We're a masterpiece that's fading, we're a candle in the draft, we're the wreckage of a ship that's lost its only wooden raft. I could reach for your palm, I could beg you to stay, but the void in the middle is pushing me away. The silence is a wall that we both helped to build, the space where the music of us has been stilled. Oh, the space between our hands is 1,000 miles wide, a hollowed out valley where our secrets go to hide. It's the graveyard of I love yous and the ghost of every plan. It's the heaviest weight that a broken heart can stand. We used to be a bridge, now we're just two different lands, divided by the space. The space between our hands. It's only 2 inches, maybe 3, maybe 4, but it feels like the ocean, it feels like a war. I'm starving for the friction, I'm dying for the spark, but we're just two strangers drifting through the dark. Give up the world just to close up the gap, but I've lost all the directions and I've burned every map. Yeah, the space between our hands is 1,000 miles wide, a hollowed out valley where our secrets go to hide. It's the graveyard of I love yous and the ghost of every plan. It's the heaviest weight that a broken heart can stand. We used to be a bridge, now we're just two different lanes, divided by the space. The space between our hands. So close I can feel your warmth, so far I can't hear your heart. Just a little bit of air pulling us apart. The space, it's everything we are now. Just the space. still buying the cereal that only you would eat. I'm still checking for your shadow when I'm walking down the street. The neighbors ask about you, and I practice my I'm fine, but I'm tracing out your initials in the condensation line. I tried to paint the bedroom a different shade of blue, but every color that I pick just reminds me more of you. It's been 6 months of silence, or maybe it's a year, but the clock stopped moving forward the day you weren't here. They say that time's a river and it washes souls away, but I'm standing in the shallows where your memories still play. Every moving on is just a lie that I've been sold, because the fire's out, but I'm still shivering from the cold. And that's the way you still matter, like a heartbeat in my head, like the ghost of every single word we ever should have said. You're the gravity that pulls me, you're the anchor in the sand, the only map to a country that I no longer command. I'm moving through the motions, I'm playing out the part, but you're a permanent vibration in the center of my heart. Yeah, the world keeps getting louder, but through all the gray and clatter, I'm haunted by the heavy weight. The way you still matter. I saw a movie yesterday that you would have surely hated, and I turned to tell you why, but the seat was vacated. It's the muscle memory of us that's the hardest part to break. The way my hand still reaches for the space that you used to take. You're the reason that I'm careful, you're the reason that I'm cold, you're the secret in my pocket that I've never once outgrown. I've deleted every photo, I've scrubbed away the trace, but my eyes still find the geometry of your absent smiling face. The calendar is moving, but the seasons feel the same, just a different way of whispering your unforgettable name. Every bridge I try to cross only leads me back to start, to the day you took the light away and left me in the dark. And that's the way you still matter, like a heartbeat in my head, like the ghost of every single word we ever should have said. You're the gravity that pulls me, you're the anchor in the sand, the only map to a country that I no longer command. I'm moving through the motions, I'm playing out the part, but you're a permanent vibration in the center go? Would I just float away? Or would I find a brand new reason just to make it through the day? 'Cause that's the way you still matter, like a heartbeat in my head, like the ghost of every single word we ever should have said. You're the gravity that pulls me, you're the anchor in the sand, the only map to a country that I no longer command. I'm moving through the motions, I'm playing out the part, but you're a permanent vibration in the center of my heart. Yeah, the world keeps getting louder, but through all the gray and clatter, I'm haunted by the heavy weight. The way you still matter, you still matter in the morning, you still matter in the rain. You're the only thing that's real inside all of this fake pain. Slowly matter, you still matter.